They say all men are created equal. Shot! Master! I'll pull out the Glock! Full of suffering, succotash, son!
One of your nuts is hanging out of your shorts.
Real glass!
You have a father, but your father's dead.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Too Sweet podcast with Lucy and Estelle. And everyone's on a high in the AEW fandom at the moment. Everything's all sunshine and rainbows. It's fantastic. We're back with a Dynamite review. Obviously, immediately following All In. It's all the fallout from that, from Hangman's huge win. Spoiler if you haven't watched it already, but I don't know why you'd be watching this if you hadn't watched it. But do go listen to our review of All In if you haven't. You know, if you want to know in detail everything that happened and know what we thought about it. But yeah, this week we're going to review Dynamite. So, Estelle, how are you feeling?
Well, I mean, I'm not here to be negative or out like that, but I don't know if this was part of the high for me, this episode. I describe this episode as the hangover. Sometimes you get like the after party. This was the hangover. I didn't mind. There was a lot that I did actually quite enjoy from this episode. I do think you could feel the fatigue from the wrestlers and from Tony Khan's writing, and we rate every episode, and we've noticed as a pattern that whenever there's a really good go-home show and a good pay-per-view, the first episode back tends to suffer, or it's reversed. It never knocks it out of the park on all three. I mean, the pay-per-view is always solid, so it's either, you know, the go-home show or the coming back show. But yeah, to me, it was the main event that I found the most egregious, which we will get into. But yeah, as I say, the hangover episode, that's what I like to call it.
Yeah, it is funny because we do, I think it was the last pay-per-view we sort of had, we were like, oh, it's like after party. It was great. It was fun. There was a lot of new people coming in. It felt really fresh. And it almost felt like a fresh start. I remember I was saying that quite a lot, but with this, the pay-per-view certainly seemed to be turning a new page. Like, we had big feuds ending, babyfaces coming out on top, huge steps in storylines and storylines coming to an end, whereas this episode didn't seem to really capitalise on that fully. But yeah, we'll get into it. But I didn't hate it either, but I do know entirely where you're coming from. I'm glad I'm not alone in feeling a little bit underwhelmed by it. I wasn't sure if it was just because I was like sleepy or something, but yeah. So let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, so this episode was filmed in the cool, awesome venue of the Hammerstein Arena. Is it called the Hammerstein Arena, even though it's not an arena? The Hammerstein Ballroom. The Hammerstein Ballroom, which just come to me in Chicago, Illinois. The crowd was awesome, lively, but it was a bit jarring. I'm not saying this in a bad way, but it was a very small venue. Going from
very different.
Very different, yeah, from All In. You got this massive arena packed to the rafters, and this was packed as well, packed to the little balcony. But yeah, definitely a different vibe, but I really liked it. It was very historical and cool looking. And someone suggested on Reddit that they should do it had medieval vibes, and they were like, they need to do like a medieval themed AEW. And me being a history nerd, I was like, yeah, it's like Sims medieval pack. Like, I need that in my life.
Oh my God. Yeah, love that. Yeah, it was like it was so well suited for Toni Storm when she did her promo later on, which we'll obviously talk about. But just the setting, it was like it was just a set built for her. It was just perfect.
And we had Tony Schiavone out, and his voice, bless him, was absolutely shot. And we had Hangman Adam Page coming out. So this is what you want. This is what you expect, right?
Yeah,
Hangman is the champion, and you want him to come out, and you want him to do that feel-good promo. And that's exactly what he did. And this to me was my expectation going into this episode, and this to me would have been enough. Obviously, that's not what we got, and we'll discuss that at the main event. But yeah, I was pretty happy with this, and I would have been happy if this is all the Hangman that I'd have gotten.
Well, yeah, exactly, because you sort of don't really expect him to wrestle after the war that he went through on Saturday. So him coming out and giving a really impassioned promo certainly would have been enough, especially because, you know, this was a really good promo. You expect it from Hangman. He's always been very good on the mic, very good actor, that we've said multiple times. But yeah, you were full. We were full. We were satisfied after this. We didn't really have room for seconds of Hangman. Not that like you don't want to see him again, but it's just like you don't expect it and you don't really need it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when you found out about the main event. I'm trying not to talk about it, but it's difficult. But I'd seen the graphic go out, so I knew it was coming even before this, and the reception online was not very good. And but a lot of people were like, "Okay, let's just see how it goes." But you know, I already knew like going into this and watching the opening promo that that was gonna. I mean, you would have done anyway, even if you didn't know the graphic, because they said at the start of the show, oh, like this match is gonna happen. But yeah, I'd kind of been sitting on those feelings for like a whole day. I think of like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I only found out when I sat down to actually watch it and the graphic came up and they said about it, and I was a bit like, huh, interesting choice. We'll see how that goes. Just because it does it usually. I feel like it's not that uncommon for something like this to happen. You put the main event guys in a tag team match and blah blah blah. But usually that's actually before the pay-per-view rather than after it. I think I was skeptical, but I was like, oh, it might. I was hoping like, oh, it might lead to something with Yuta because it was Claudio, Yuta, and Moxley. I was like, that this is a good chance for their characters to develop. But yeah, again, like you said, trying not to talk about it too much because we've not even got anywhere near that part yet. But we didn't really get that.
Yeah, and it obviously, like I said, I just brought up because it fed into my feelings of watching this promo. So he was talking
Yeah.
about the fans were chanting, "You deserve it," and he was like, "No, you deserve it. You deserve better wrestling," and giving kudos and thanks to the the wrestling fans, the day one AEW fans that have kind of caused this revolution. It was very feel good. He acknowledged the wrestlers who had been out on injury or have gone out on injury or rest. So Orange Cassidy, Jay White, oi oi, Adam Copeland, the Ops. But interestingly, he didn't say Hook in the Ops. Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and Will Ospreay. Ospreay's on a 1 month break just for rest because his body's so
Right.
battered from all the travel. It's suspected. And just going back to Hook, I'm really thinking he's going to WWE. Like, just because the way they're
Damn.
handling it, it's giving WWE vibes.
What, like the sort of skirting around it and it's all a bit hush hush.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's, yeah, I think you've got a point. I think you
But I
got a
don't know when his
point.
contract's up.
Yeah, who knows? I don't have a clue.
So while he was giving his thank yous as well, he built it up and then gave one to Swerve, and it was so like emotional because his voice actually broke when he was like, "Oh, for one small moment, was it for me?" Like he was questioning the motives of Swerve. It was very sweet, and then he had a little bit on Real Men Cry, and he finished it with "I am the champion of the fucking world," and you've got to imagine like how much it must mean to him to be world champion, especially since like he has been a day oneer since he's been in AEW. He's fought for it. He believes in the message. He is the feeling. Hangman is the feeling
Yeah.
of AEW. And as I keep reverting back to his previous title reign, how that kind of went, the whole Punk thing, which he was also entwined with because that he was the one that kind of triggered CM Punk and started the
Yeah.
spiral, his downward spiral. So he had to go through all of that. And, this is a place that he really believes in, really loves watching it sort of deteriorate. And then his character of redemption, it kind of blurs kayfabe and real life. And then to finally have that title, pull it out of the box, what that meant to the fans, what that meant to him. Like, I think it's more about what it represents and
Yeah.
how emotional it is. And it's just so layered, man. It's not as simple as him playing a character on TV and
Yeah.
a fake belt. It's so much more. It represents so much more.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. I think you've put it really well. It's just there's so much to it and there's so much emotion behind him winning and also the way he won it with Swerve in particular, and his role that he played in that. So yeah, I was just waiting for him to thank Swerve, and I thought I liked the way he did it. Like he sort of he said it really quickly, but he also, yeah, like you said, questioned his motive. Um, so just really sweet. Um, And again, like I said before, he's great at cutting a promo. So yeah, overall, I was like, hell yeah, fuck yeah. This was like, yeah, carrying on my emotions from Saturday. I was like, yeah, I feel good.
And the fact that the thank you part was kind of brief as well, it's sort of like you can't dwell on it too much because it is that emotional and it is that raw. So that's why I has to sort of
Yeah.
get through it fast. But yeah, I think we've done our feelings on that, right? So
Mm.
next up there was the All In recap, which I was pissing myself because there was a huge chunk of screen time at the start for the Costco guys.
Yeah, there was.
Which is like we have to get this. This is the highlight of All In is the Costco guys.
Rizzler is a draw.
Absolutely. And then we had Matt and Nick, who I thought were brilliant throughout this episode. They were arriving in an Uber. Their limo's been all smashed up. They can't afford it anymore, obviously. And I loved Matt. He was like putting his hand over his eyes, like he couldn't bear to be seen walking into the arena. Very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and particularly the stuff they were doing later on, which we'll get into, was great as well. Love, they're in the poverty era.
Next up, we had Kyle Fletcher versus Masco Dorado. This was a good match, but a bit weird. So Kyle was on him from the start, but he was quickly shook off by Dorado, who was too fast, too evasive. I could be wrong, but this was like maybe there is another match actually recently that I've enjoyed, but I feel like this was quite a turning point for me for Masco Dorado. Similarly, I had one month or two back with Bandito, where I was like, this guy's really, really good. And I think it's because I've mainly been seeing him in 6-man, 8-man stuff, but this was more one-on-one, so I really got to see his offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one part that I really liked, but it kind of fucked with the match, was there was a bit of a botch, and he had to fix it by doing the Rana, the Hurricane Rana. But he didn't just do it by like running up and wrapping his legs around Kyle's neck. He kind of like jumped off like the top rope, like elevated himself and twisted himself around. It was really cool, like the fact that he thought of that on the fly. But because of that, I suspect a botch. Masco Dorado then was sort of leading it, whereas I feel like that whatever he was, I forgot what he was trying to set up. In the corner, Kyle Fletcher. It seemed like that was going to be Kyle Fletcher's turning point. He was going to get his shit in and then finish the match. But instead, what we got was more Masco Dorado, and then Fletcher catching him in the moonsault within the last 30 seconds of the match. The sheer drop brain buster, which led to a really abrupt finish. And then he was foaming at the mouth for Dustin Rhodes. So yeah, I feel like unfortunately it kind of fell apart, but which kind of looked weird for Kyle Fletcher, but it's fine.
Yeah, to be fair, I think that's a detailed observation. Like, I don't think I know what you mean now that you've said it, but I didn't pick up on it at the time. But I did remember thinking, okay, yeah, that did seem quite sudden and out of nowhere that he got the win. I did feel like it was very heavy on the Dorado side of offense. So yeah, and I also thought it was a bit strange that Kyle won completely clean. Wonder if maybe there was going to be something in his comeback that was going to be maybe a little bit dirty. I don't know, but just building up to it a little bit more rather than it just seeming like quite a sudden clean win for a huge heel. But yeah, no, I agree with what you said. I think Dorado looked absolutely fantastic in this, and so did Fletcher. To be fair, like he had to keep up with Dorado just as much as Dorado was dishing out the offense. You know, Kyle still had to be extremely fast in his own right to be able to keep up with it. So yeah, I found this match really entertaining, to be fair. As Taz said, they're doing more moves in this match than I did in my entire career.
Yeah, they were on some great ones tonight. Are you foaming at the mouth for Dustin Rhodes and Kyle Fletcher?
No, but maybe Kyle will make it good. I'm not saying that Dustin's bad or anything. I just mean that, you know, in terms of character and how invested I am, not dead invested in Dustin Rhodes, to be fair. But, you know, it was nice to see him win at the weekend. I was happy for him, but do I want to see Kyle Fletcher really brutalise him and like ruin the happy story? Yeah, Yeah, sorry, I do. Does that make me a bad person?
Well, we're getting to Forbidden Door season now, and someone pointed out to me that All Out is actually after Forbidden Door, which I didn't realise, so misspoke there. But yeah, I mean, could see him dethrone Dustin in London, hopefully.
Oh my.
Manifest that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sure, why not? I'll just be happy to see Kyle Fletcher wrestle. That'll be a treat.
Yeah, and it's not the fact that Dustin is bad.
Yeah,
It's just the
exactly.
more Dustin holds the belt, the more it's going to deteriorate into irrelevance. As harsh
Well,
as
yeah.
that sounds, it's the
It
truth.
it is the truth because he's not really been on AEW TV all that much. He's a Ring of Honor mainly. So you assume it's probably going to be the same going forward. So then again, that belt is very invisible.
Yeah. So then we had Renee catching up with the Bucks. They'd arrived to the venue, but they were in no mood to talk. They try to talk to Shafia. She no sells the hello. On the dressing room, the EVP sign gets scribbled out. So all the staff that they were being so rude to, so nasty and so rude, um, they're able to get their own back on them for acting like Karens. Ricochet then, which is like kicking a man when it's down. Imagine like having the worst day of your life, and Ricochet is like sucks to be you. Aha! I think I'd just like jump off a bridge. I think that would be like my 14th reason, honestly.
Final straw. Yeah.
And then, oh, talk about final straw. Don Callis comes out and he's like, "Oh, it's an abomination what they've done to you. I proposed it. We do some business." And the Bucks are like, "Oh, we'll never join the family," which I was like, "Yeah, thank God for that." But like, we will do business. But it's like, well, surely they would have done anyway, because like Okada's in the family now, and they're. But I
Yeah.
guess this segment clears it up. It clears up that while Okada's in it, they're not, and it's kind of like a splitting of the
Mm,
elite. So
yeah.
okay.
But then it was kind of awkward. They hugged him, and it was just like the most awkward hug in the world. And they just kind of looked like really uncomfortable.
I think it's what it means is like they don't have a lot of friends, so they
They'll take
just
who they can get.
yeah, they'll take who they can get exactly. Then we had another backstage segment that Syndicate MVP wants competition. It's boring. Yes, it is MVP. Yes, it is. MJF calls out Hangman. He said, "Newsflash, I'm the best. I'm the best in the world." And I was like, you just took that straight from the pipe bomb. For the same intonation and everything. He's like, "Newsflash, John. You're not the best. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world."
Max is such a nerd. He definitely did that on purpose.
Absolutely. Then we had the nice guys finish last, and we are not nice at all. So I think that establishes that we are not getting a face turn.
No, no.
That's what I took from it.
Yeah. Especially because Max was like, I'm the physical embodiment of your depression, Hangman. It's like, okay, ouch. Got very personal very quick.
Then we had the 6 man of Josh Alexander. Was it a 6 man?
Yeah, it was.
No, it was a 5 man. Yeah, it was a five. It was a 10 man. It was a 10 man.
Was it?
Well, it was Josh Alexander, Hechicero, the Bucks.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's an 8 man. Well, I don't know. It's Josh Alexander, Hechicero, the Bucks versus Jet Speed, Bandito, and Brody King. Yeah, that's it. 8 man.
That's 8 man. Two
That's it, people.
two girls try to do maths.
Um. Yeah. So as you said, the Bucks were very entertaining during this. They came out to no pyro because at first,
Oh
right,
my
it was a bit weird
God.
because they came out to the EVP music, and I thought they'd have like a character rebrand or something because it's like they're still acting like the EVPs, but then they cut the music. The Tron was then a highlight of their lowest moments with like the shitty DVD thing and
Comic
Comic
Sans,
Sans.
movie
And
maker vibes.
Justin Roberts' announcement, I think, was really the funniest part of this. When he was
Yeah.
like,
What a
they were
guy.
EVPs, they no longer are. It was very, very funny, his delivery.
I love the attention to detail. Like, every member of staff that's been treated like shit, getting a little bit of revenge on the Young Bucks.
Yeah, very, very good. The crowd were very into this match. I don't think there were any weak points or anyone that they weren't particularly behind. And I couldn't stop smiling either, especially at Jet Speed. Speedball was my MVP of the 8-man. I thought it was brilliant.
Agreed. Me too.
This match, just best match of the night. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Just lots of fun, lots of spots, too many to count. The finish, we had the super kick in midair with the chokehold. Yeah. Which I wrote down hooping too, and I don't know why.
Neither have I. I've just put it's the heels winning clean again. I just remember
Our brains have just gone.
Like they were a very cohesive unit. It was like every single member of the team was involved.
It was Bandido. It was on Bandido, right? They pinned Bandido.
I don't know. Wait, no, sorry. It was so Bandido was knocked out with super kicks, and then Hechicero locked him in a submission, and he tapped out. So yeah, you're right.
Yes, because I wrote down super kick in midair with the chokehold, and the point that I wrote down, which I didn't write down the pin was, and it was Josh Alexander able to intercept Nick and Bandido, because Bandido was getting all the offense, he was looking really fucking cool, and Josh Alexander came in and sniped, which is kind of significant when you think about earlier the Callis family and how they're on board with each other. So it's like the Callis family really scratched the backs of the Young Bucks. It's like actually it probably is a fruitful relationship. And then it was put in the chokehold, and all the heels had all the faces like locked down, and that was the finish. So
yes,
good.
And they were a very cohesive unit. They worked so well as a team, which like you said, it's significant that that collaboration is working out. This was really a match.
Yeah, that's so funny that I was like trying to do a podcast who's pinned who.
I mean, listen, we share a brain
keep up
cell.
with.
You can't expect it to be working all the time.
It's very warm in the UK, and I'm very ginger, so I'm very cooked right now.
She's overcooked.
Yeah, I'm at like 0.25 of a brain cell, not even half a brain cell, just fractional.
We're trying our best, guys. We're really trying our best.
Your best ain't good enough. Next up, we had Adam Copeland, not Cope anymore. Cope with it. He's Adam Copeland. And he explained his motives for interfering with what was going to be the annihilation of Christian Cage. And he said he didn't come down to save Christian, which I think was a little bit surprising, because it's like it seemed that with the go find yourself.
It definitely seemed that way.
Yeah, but obviously that was a swerve. And he called back to all the stuff that Christian's done to him since he's debuted in the company, and how it's all been out of jealousy and spite. He doesn't blame the rest of Patriarchy, and he came back for FTR, which makes sense. And yeah, we always knew that was a part of it. But again, why have we got a single guy feuding with a tag team that's one of the most prestigious tag teams, when a couple of segments ago, MVP saying it's boring, where are the best, why are they hiding? It just doesn't make sense, does it?
No, I see what I thought they were going to go for, like a Christian face turn, but this seemed Adam was properly dunking on him, like, this guy's a fucking arsehole. Here's all the things he's ever done to me. I don't have wrestling, what's it called when you forget things? Amnesia. I don't have wrestling amnesia. I remember all the things he did to me, and I wasn't trying to help him. I was just trying to get revenge. Blah blah blah. But yeah, like you said, it just makes no sense, and I feel like we're back to square one. But then I'm like, maybe is Christian gonna try and convince Cope that, like, okay, if you want to take FTR down, you're useless on your own. We need to team up, and that's gonna be the story.
I agree, and I've thought about it, and I know what's going to happen now. FTR are going to go for the tag titles. They're going to win it, and then Christian and Edge are going to team up. Adam Copeland, sorry. And they are going to beat them for the titles way in the future, and that'll be part of a potential retirement run for either or both.
Yeah, I think that's highly likely because there's no way he just came back and said that to Christian and that's the end of their story. No way.
Yeah. So then FTR FTR. Oh my God.
Music.
FTR music plays. But it's Big Stoke and security. And Stokely's like, oh, you're predictable. And Spike is a liability. At first I thought it was going to cut to like the back and they destroyed Spike. I thought that would have really gained some real heat, but it was like, oh, I've talked to AEW, Warner Brothers, Tony Khan, and they've received 3 anonymous emails about your behaviour. So they've basically almost got a restraining order on Cope where he'll be fired if he touches FTR or comes close to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which makes no sense for Tony. Why would the company be like, oh, these 2 guys can't fight
Yeah, I know. Oh,
on a wrestling program?
These 3 emails that we've got have really impacted our business decision.
It was so stupid.
Yeah, it's incredibly stupid. And then I thought it was hilarious when Stokely was like, "Why don't you go find a hobby?" That really cracked me up for some reason. The guy's really funny. Like he's given absolute dog shit to work with, to be fair, but he's very funny, regardless. And then those 2 pure innocent security guards got taken down, and it was hilarious as well when those other security guards just went sprinting out of the building. Like they're not even. Oh, they're not on the payroll because they haven't done shit. And then Stokely got speared.
Yeah, it's like that predictable but funny line rest of, well, they didn't say anything about you. And then the spear was sold really well because, like, as you said, the 2 security guards had ran off and Stokely was like, why are you turning around? Just get out of the ring. Like,
Yeah,
what's the logic there?
Just follow them.
What is the logic?
Yeah.
Why would you stand there for like 10 seconds and be like,
oh no, I'm scared.
It's so stupid. I love it. Then we got Matt Briscoe. Sorry, stupid in an entertaining way. We're not dunking on it. We're laughing with it, not at it. Matt Briscoe, he did a backstage promo, but I also want to say that I did get a chance to watch the 2-in-1, I think it's called. Yeah, 2-in-1 documentary, and it's on the, I believe it's on the AEW YouTube channel, and it is very, very good, very emotional, and definitely led to me to have like an even deeper appreciation for Matt Briscoe and Jay Briscoe, and it's just definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, I've not got around to watching it yet. I feel like it's going to make me cry, and I feel like I just need to be emotionally prepared for it. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
MJF is a bitch, and he will make him pay for his sins, essentially. And this was basically really fun and interesting because it means, MJF, he's got the contract and he's got his eyes set on Hangman and the Triple B, but it's really exciting because you just know Matt Briscoe is also going to be watching MJF and doing everything in his power to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's really fun.
Yeah, there's so many different elements to the way that story could go. Like, could Matt Briscoe even cost MJF? Perhaps, who knows? So it's great that story's not over, and Mac is going to have a chance to hopefully get a bit of revenge for what MJF said, and we're not just drawing a line underneath it.
I think he absolutely could cost him, because when you think about it, making MJF win the contract kind of books you into like a corner, because then you've got 2 absolute megastars going against each other, and whoever loses it is going to take a little chink out their armor. It is going to have an impact on their win-loss record and how they're viewed in the hierarchy at the top of the card. So yeah, I think Matt Briscoe having some involvement, it kind of protects MJF when that moment comes.
Yeah, that's very true.
And also like the Hurt Syndicate as well. If he was to lose to Hangman, then he might have to depart the Hurt Syndicate faster. Because I feel like when this is just the way I'm reading it, but I feel like when MJF does start to lose and he's not pulling his weight, I can definitely see tensions rising. So to probably avoid people theorizing about that, if Max is losing big matches, they're kind of protecting him.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's a good point. It just reminded me as well of something that crossed my mind during this was, okay, maybe he does win the championship at some point down the line, MJF. Then what if it was the plan of the Hurt Syndicate all along for that to happen and they somehow take the championship from him? Maybe they're using him as their sort of boost to a championship. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. That's just one thing that crossed my mind.
That would be crazy. But how long does this contract actually last? Like, is it a year? What's the expiry date on it?
I think it's 12 months.
So yeah, he absolutely could win the title if it's like 12 months down the line and Hangman's had a really long reign and
Of course, because you know, obviously you want Hangman to have a good solid run.
yeah. It really makes you think though with like the all-ins, like I said on our review, that the past three have been very positive. That won't happen forever. Like there's got to be one where the bad guys just take it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to compare it to WrestleMania because obviously it's a very different thing. But I guess in the sense that they're both the biggest pay-per-views of the year for their respective companies, you know, they're sort of similar. And usually with a Mania, you'd get, you know, that's your big happy payoff. So if we're going along those lines, but you would think like just because of probability that we would get a villain standing tall at least one of them. It could be the next one, since we've had 3 happy ones in a row.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because like what's classed as bad for the greater good and what's just plain bad? Because like the Undertaker Lesnar, when that happened at the time, it just seemed awful. But then you saw the big picture. I mean, it is kind of shit because obviously then it propelled a really shitty person into like a high position in the company. But at the time, like in the 2010s, like you didn't know that. And then that put him over so much. So I guess like in the big picture at the time, it was worth it. Oh, but then sometimes you get like Cody losing the first year of the Bloodline storyline. And I don't think now we've got the perspective of him winning the next year, last year that is, it didn't really seem to have the payoff. So it's very difficult to know in the moment whether like these huge risks are going to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It's a really good point. But thinking about that Mania where the Undertaker lost, and that was a huge downer, that Mania ended with Bryan winning. So you still got that huge exuberant moment at the end in the main event to pick you up from the devastation of Undertaker losing. But then it's like the point's kind of disproven when you think of all the times that Mania ended with Roman Reigns standing tall amongst many boos. That happened multiple times. So yeah. But then some of those times he was meant to be the face, but he was still getting booed. I don't know, we're going down a bit of a rabbit hole here.
But then, sorry, my first point on the rabbit hole, and then I swear we'll get out of it. I do feel like AEW heels, other than the only one I think of maybe is Moxley, because I feel like people are getting some go away heat, and I think if Moxley had have won it all in, that would have just tanked AEW.
Yeah.
Absolutely tanked him. But you think about MJF, he's a heel, but he's so likable. So I think if like someone like if MJF, as we're saying, in a year's time was to have an upset victory, you know, maybe might have more grace.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, is it a heel that people love to hate or a heel that people, like you say, go away hate? Like someone like Jericho.
Oh God,
that's like the
that would
only
be the
person.
upset.
Yeah,
that would be the upset.
He's like one of the only
Tommy
people I
Guevara.
can genuinely imagine, like if that was meant to be the big feel-good ending of a pay-per-view, Jericho getting one last run that people would genuinely have heat.
Well, apparently, we are just going to rabbit holes now, but apparently he's going to WWE. He's been reaching out to WWE, and I can totally see that
What?
happening.
Oh my
I can
days.
totally see that happening because
He
the well
he
of
had so
AEW
much
is
heat with him
dry.
when he left, though.
Yeah, but it's different
Man,
now, isn't it? Different
it is
landscape,
different.
different
I mean, so did
vibes.
Cody, and look at that. Look at the way that's played out. So, damn.
Yeah. So then we had the four-way 100K match, which I, I still don't know if I'm on board with the 100K thing. I just can't. I can suspend my belief for a lot of things, but like, I just can't believe that they're fighting for 100 until I see it. Like Squid Games, like it's got a pig with money in the middle or something like that.
Mhm.
Then I'd believe it. Seeing is believing. I need to see him go on a shopping spree with money. I need to see.
Yeah.
I need more to the
That's
gimmick
such a great
before.
idea for a segment, though, like them going out and spending all the money. But yeah, I think I loved this match on paper without that. Like, I just, I'm interested in
I
seeing
know
this
you
four-way
do.
match without, I don't care if they're fighting for the money or not. I felt like this didn't need the money thing because I don't think any of them really played up to it. Especially not, sorry to jump to the end. Tekla ended up winning. She didn't care less about the money. She didn't even look happy that she won the match. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get the impression like, oh my God, I've just won 100K. Well, oh my God.
Yeah,
Because it's a
yeah,
lot
that's
of
the thing. Like,
money.
it's adds nothing. It adds absolutely nothing,
Yeah,
and it really, really could, because
yeah.
like they're all funny characters. So I don't know. Tekla should go buy a spider. I want to go see her buy a spider next week, or just on the YouTube channel. I want to see some payoff to this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Statlander,
exactly.
she loves lizards. Let her buy a lizard.
I like even airing some interviews beforehand of them saying like what it would mean to them to win the money, what would they do with the money, that sort of thing. Just something. A bit of
Well, to be fair,
content.
Aminata, she did tweet and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna donate 100K to anti-ice charities."
Oh my
So she didn't
God,
play
and
into
she
it.
fucking lost the match, man.
Exactly. Boo.
But that
Um,
would make me that much more invested if I knew that, but I didn't because I didn't see this tweet. Do you know what I
and
mean?
it's for
Like,
charity. And
yeah.
Tony Khan, right? He gives money to charity, so she should have won, and then they could have like shown the money being given to
Yeah.
that charity and like the positive.
I
But maybe
mean,
that's too political for AW. I don't know.
yeah,
Also,
potentially. But I do think in general that's a great PR idea. It's like you build it into a storyline, then you have Tony Khan like it's a face who wins, and they want to
yeah.
donate to charity, and then you have Tony Khan like handing the big check over with the wrestler and the shaking
Oh, that would be so
hands.
good.
You get that in the all the local media. That's just a great PR thing. I don't do that.
Yeah, that would be great PR because even if it was like a local charity, like yeah, that would probably go out in like the papers and like the local news, and then
Yeah.
that'd boost more popularity for AW. But I was gonna say because I said, oh, AW maybe might be a bit too political. But then did you see Cody Rhodes? It was about so sorry about WWE, but this really made me laugh, so I've just got to talk about it. And it was an interview about Saudi and how can they do that, and he's like, oh well, we're just non-partisan. Wherever people want wrestling, we go. We're not political at all. I'm
That's
like,
bullshit.
WWE is like the most MAGA Republican company. Fucking Linda McMahon in White House. Like, what the hell are you on about? It's just,
It's the
oh, it's
biggest load of
ridiculous.
bullshit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I just found it funny because it was just so ridiculous that
It, it's it's so
tribute for the
ridiculous
troops.
on
Like, are
so
you
many
kidding me?
levels. So many levels. What he said was just so funny, but outrageous at the same time. Like, yeah, for so many reasons.
But yeah, we're coming up with some great ideas. So Tony Khan. But I feel like sometimes our ideas do make it to AW, like through manifestation or Tony Khan. Sometimes we say things and they appear. So
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
he's
like the next
watching, to be
100K we'll
fair.
see it.
I think
Yeah.
he's our biggest fan.
Oh, imagine. He's like one of the people that comments every week that we do notice, and we love the people that comment every week, but one of them,
One of
that's
you
him.
is Mr. Khan himself.
And you don't even know it. Um, right, so the forward.
Yes,
This
let's
was
actually
great.
talk about this match. Yeah, it was really good.
I liked it because you've got two badass rivalries in one match. You've
Yeah.
got Tekla and Aminata, which had a really like unexpected but awesome rivalry, great chemistry. Willow and Stat, they basically are to me like the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Oh,
They've kind of got that kind of. I feel like it's going to be a lifelong, career-long rivalry.
yeah.
Really great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree, but Tekla and Queen Aminata for me are just stealing the show. They're so intense and aggressive with each other. Like everything Aminata does looks really stiff. I'm not at all trying to suggest that it is stiff or that she's dangerous or anything like that, but she just makes it look so real and awesome and hard hitting. But also she was taking some really stiff bumps in this one herself as well. Like, for example, on the apron, I think she got like pushed off the rope or whatever and landed back first on the apron. And she took a suplex on the floor as well. Yeah, I felt like all the women were doing quite dangerous spots in this. Like they just weren't holding back at all. And it made sense, like you said, because there's a lot of animosity between them. So not only were they apparently fighting for this money, but they also genuinely wanted to get their hands on each other, and that definitely came across.
And I also love how there's rivalries throughout the division as well. Like it's not just before, because there's limited airtime for the women for some reason, some artificial bullshit reason. But you just have like the TBS and the women's, and whoever's going for that, and the respective champions, and people meandering at the bottom. But now, like throughout the card, like I feel like the women's got quite a definitive mid card, and
Yeah. Yeah,
people
yes,
are actually
yes,
doing
I
interesting
completely
shit.
agree.
And
That's
it's fun.
exactly what I was thinking during this match. I was like, could you call this the women's mid card? Because it's not got championship implications, and it's also not like a throwaway match. It matters, but it's not like top of the card. And I was thinking back to the video we did about the mid card, and we basically said, well, you can't really talk about the women in this because unfortunately there's not enough depth in the division and the time that they have to have a mid card. But it feels like that's changing now, which is great.
Yeah. And also this match was totally even, very
Yeah.
quick turnover of who was gaining control. I think that was thanks to the rivalries, people constantly wanting to get one up
Hmm.
on each other. Um, we had stopping Willow from getting the pin, so they brawled up the ramp, which kind of took them away from the match.
Mm.
And Aminata doing the double stomp off the top rope, but so it seemed like she was going to take it. But Sky Blue comes down, she distracts Aminata, and Julia sprays the mist, and Tekla captures the win. So we were theorising during the women's casino that Tekla and Julia should get into some kind of program, but it seems that they're actually so similar that they're joining forces, which is also quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, because they were like looking at each other across the ring, like making a lot of eye contact and like in the casino match and mirroring each other's actions. It seemed like, oh, are they gonna have a good match? It seemed like they'd have a good match, but actually, yeah, I think they're a good fit for each other, and I feel like the women's division can maybe do with something like this, just like a little faction who can cause a bit of chaos. Um, and yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, yeah,
They
absolutely.
they match each other's freak.
They do. Then we had Toni appearing from the stalls, as you referenced earlier, and she did one of her classic timeless promos that just has you just pissing yourself. Plenty of innuendos about buffets and eating from
Eating
people's
each other.
lips. Yeah. Luther is out on injury.
Was she implying that his penis has fell off? Or
Yeah,
yeah,
some reconstruction.
because I was like, is this actually serious, or have I got a dirty man? No, yeah,
I think, yeah, when Toni Storm's involved, just it's always dirty
it,
minded.
yeah,
That's the safe option. Her tits are pointing to the future, and she ought to be careful because she knows there's people coming for her. Cue Athena straight on the Tron with Billy Starks, who talked about her match with Mina at Supercard of Honor, and she's like, "You ain't got no Luther, you ain't got no Mina. I'm coming to murder you, basically. It's just like, I'm coming to kill you. I'm
Yeah.
coming to destroy you. Like, it was so intense.
Yeah.
Very exciting. And Tony said, if you are willing, I will be thrilling. If you are able, I will bend you over the table. So, yeah, fighting words from the champion. And these two are meshing better than I ever hoped in my dreams. This is beautiful. Give me 15 of them.
I love that after like one segment, it's like, fuck yes. But that's the Toni Storm impact. I read someone who Matt from the Mat he does wrestling reviews, and he said Toni Storm, words to this effect, Toni Storm could make a compelling feud out of, with an inanimate object and turn it into a five-star thing. That's just the Toni Storm effect. That's how good she is. So, yeah, she's just so entertaining, and I love that. Just the little things add into her presentation that make it even better. So, like, the filter they had on the camera, so like only it was black and white apart from red, and that's a thing from an old film, isn't it, or something? I don't know, but it just adds a little bit of something. It just adds to her identity, and it was just really good. And yeah, Athena saying, "Yeah, your demise and murder is coming." It was like, all right. I wasn't sure if I misheard her when she said that.
0 to 100.
Yeah, and then it was
I love
announced that I'm not sure, I can't remember if she said this or not. Billy Stark is going to face Toni
No.
next week on Dynamite, so that's exciting.
Yeah, super excited. Jumping straight into the program. No ifs, no buts, no coconuts. We are straight into it. And Toni as well, it's great because there's no breather, but in the best way. She's just such a fighting champion. She's
Yeah.
constantly fighting people, and back to back, you're just entertained.
And also, she's implied that like if Mercedes wants a rematch, she can have it. Like she said, you're welcome to come back to seconds. The buffet is always open. So yeah, she's very much a fighting champion, like you said.
Toni Storm is like the opposite of what the Hurt Syndicate is, in that there's just absolute so much depth and people coming for her and so many exciting
Yeah,
feuds.
yeah. And it's not, you won't catch her calling the women's division boring.
So then we had the Patriarchy. So I really, really enjoyed this backstage segment. So they're now known as the Matriarch, which is fucking brilliant. I love that. I love that so much. There's so many ways you can go with that. So much they can do with that. It's so fun.
Love feminism.
Also had Nick mewing at the start. He's always like,
Yeah, what is it with his face, man? What is it about?
what is it with his face?
Yeah.
That's just his face, Lucy.
I know.
Can't say that. You can't say what is it with his face.
No, but like, I'm not saying he's ugly or anything. Just like you said, he's just mewing all the time.
He's
All
like
the time. It's like his natural.
constantly smouldering.
Yeah. What is that?
So Kip's like, I seeked you out. Nick's like, you were the past. This is about Christian Cage, your expiration date. You passed your expiration date. Yeah, he's not won that many titles, but he's the youngest AEW champion. So it's not about how much has he won, it's how much is he going to win. And Christian has created this monster. Now AEW has to deal with it. So it's so exciting. It's like Nick Wayne's been positioned as this like monster who's going to tear through the division, which is great because we've wanted to see more of Nick Wayne for ages. We've got Shayna, who added loads to the presentation. She's really fun on the mic. And Kip, and you can just see how this is going to go. Nick Wayne's going to be such a chicken shit heel. Kip's going to help him out, his little evil brother. He's got his mum fighting his battles for him. It's a great act. It's a great act, and we haven't even started, and I'm really into it.
Yeah, and I just love that it's always Nick Wayne in the spotlight. It's all built around him and what people want to sort of use him for success. And yeah, he's just a cocky little shit. But again, I think this just paints Christian really sympathetically, because if they're heels, because there's no doubt they weren't faces in this. If they're heels, how can Christian still be a heel? I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking this. It just doesn't quite work for me.
I think he's definitely going to have a face turn. Yeah.
Mm.
I think when he comes back that the crowd reaction will be sympathetic. I can't see him coming back and people booing him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought until Cope came out and was like, he he burned all my crops and cut off my water supply.
Well, I think that it's because what I predict happens is going to be long-term storytelling, and they're going to have a
Yeah.
segment where Cope will be like, "I'm not forgiving him," and the crowd will be like, "Boo!" And then
Yeah.
like until he's sort of forced into it. I'm guessing, but
Yeah, I think so too.
that's the thing in it. You're at that start of it where you've just got to put your hope and trust
Yeah.
in AEW and hope and trust that it is prosperous,
Yeah.
which it might not be. It might just be Cope versus FTR forever. Who knows?
God help us.
Okay. So we had Okada with a new theme, which is the theme is very American. It's very American. It's by One OK Rocks, also a Japanese band. But yeah, it felt like this is the I'm in AEW. Everyone's got like very American sounding music, and he's having American because obviously like his last one is iconic. Wham of like the guitar. New Japan music, it's very instrumental. That's kind of the vibe, right?
Mm.
Jay White, when he comes back, he better not have an American style. Do not. Okay, we already lost Kenny's. Kenny's the cleaner theme, which is fucking brilliant. Okada now. Do not do that to me. But yeah, it's definitely going to take some adjustment. This new theme song.
It was very dramatic, like very commanding. It kind of forced you to listen to it, if you know what I mean. Because I don't know, the voice was so. I don't know what it was about it. It's just very commanding.
Well, it seems to have worked then. He found it commanding.
Yeah.
Me, the music critic, I'm just like, it's too American. Trying to westernize Okada, even though it's a Japanese band, but I'm sure I'll adjust to it, and I'm sure I'll absolutely love it. But yeah, I was very attached to the old one.
You'll be belting it out by Forbidden Door.
So Okada had a very, very rapid match with someone who looked very familiar, but I never caught the name.
I didn't either, and I was like, have I just not been paying attention? I don't think commentary even knew his name, because they definitely didn't say it. They didn't say his name once. And he didn't even get an introduction.
Yeah, literally, it was very, very, very bizarre.
It's
I thought he
apparently
looked a bit like a shorter Yota Tsuji.
it's apparently Rafael Quintero, who is a local
Well, he's not even
competitor.
Japanese.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
local enhancement talent.
Hmm.
But he really had like the look for me of Yota Tsuji from LIJ, like a shorter version. But yeah, he's just got one of them faces, I guess. And Okada calls out Swerve for screwing over the Bucks. He's like, "Those are my besties. What are you doing?" And Swerve is like, "What are you going to do about it, bitch?" And then Okada just gets out. And that's how all Okada. That's the power of Okada. You don't need to do anything. Like, just two sentences, facial reaction, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Give me the match.
And
10 out of 10 build.
suddenly this has all the makings of being a fucking legendary feud, and you can't wait for the match. Exactly. Just goes to show sometimes you don't need to do everything. Just need to do a little bit. But I will say, like, was a squash match really needed? Was that the best? Is this
Gotta
the best
debut
way
that new
to?
song.
Well, I guess
That was purely for the song,
that's it.
100%.
That's literally it. Yeah, was that the best way to showcase Okada? I don't know if that match was necessary. It just felt very stupid. I don't think Okada needs a squash match. We know how strong he is. Like, what's the need?
I don't know. He's just that guy, I guess.
I mean, from a kayfabe perspective, I guess it's like, oh well, Don Callis is just kind of like, he's giving Okada something to hunt for fun. Like he's just set up this match. I was trying to think of some sort of like metaphor for like a lion hunting something for fun. I don't know. That's basically what it's giving. And Don Callis has just set it up because he knows that what's going to happen and he's just doing it for his own entertainment type of thing, I guess. But I didn't feel like this was really, really needed.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get into the shit show that was the main event. So it was Hangman,
Nice, man.
Matt Briscoe, Will Hobbs, and Death Riders. So on paper, go on. What were your hopes and dreams? I suppose we'll get into what were you hoping for?
I was hoping a bit of depth with Moxley, like, internal battle over the insecurity that he's lost to Hangman, which he did get a little bit of, I suppose, because like he wasn't wrestling much in the match. He was sort of ducking out. But yeah, so that and just sort of seeing how he was going to bounce back from it. Is he still going to be a leader, or are the Death Riders still going to follow him? Which the answer is yes, which is a bit boring. Or was, and also I was hoping they were going to do something with Wheeler Yuta and Claudio, like playing up to that. Like, again, like I said, are they still going to follow Claudio? I mean, are they still going to follow Moxley, or is Claudio going to try and be the leader now? Like, maybe is what's Yuta going to do? Is he going to see the error of his ways and go to the good side? I don't know. Just a little bit of character work is what I was expecting, but I don't really feel like I got much of that.
Yeah, not all. I mean, first of all, Hangman and Mox in a match, even without the Death Riders, right? It's like you've seen it on Saturday, and it was such an emotive, cathartic match, and the finish was very clean. It
Yeah,
wasn't fucky at all. I think if it would be a
yeah,
bit fucky, then it would be a bit different because you'd be like, okay, like Mox wanting his vengeance or whatever. But I think for both men, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe Hangman comes out and does a promo. It wouldn't have even if he hadn't come out this week. I guess he kind of had to come out this week, but like for both of them, just like just go on vacation, like take some time off. Both guys were battered and bruised. It's pretty obvious that they weren't just selling during this match. They genuinely were
yeah,
banged up.
yeah,
There's no real need for it. There's so many other things on that card that still haven't been addressed that are maybe more mid card. Yeah, but they still could have done it. And then you've got, like you say, the story of it. So that to me was when I saw it online. I was like, okay, that's shit. But maybe this is going to be the definitive end of the Death Riders. This is going to be where, like I say, Wheeler Yuta and Claudio are going to do some stuff. Mox is going to have his final fall from grace. And as the match went on, we didn't get that. And I really don't understand, because it's like, how does no one in this situation have any foresight? I mean, you don't know what people are fighting for backstage, but how do people not have foresight that this isn't going to go down well? Like, surely you'd see the reaction that the Death Riders got and Hangman got on Saturday, and you'd know what people were wanting. People are excited about a fresh start. So
yeah.
this, right? I called this the garlic bread, right? This was garlic bread. So you go on a night out,
Whoa,
right?
wait, I love garlic bread.
Yeah, but wait. You go on night out and you order from the boss man a big garlic bread. I like it with cheese and tomato, bit of garlic sauce. You eat it and you take it home because you're like, times are tough cause he lives. You put it in your fridge. The next day you wake over hungover, because this is the hangover episode, right? And yeah, garlic bread, right? It was great last night. I fucking loved it last night. It was piping hot. Oh, it hit my senses, right? But this morning, I'm hungover and I'm feeling a bit sick. And the last thing I want is a slice of cold, nasty garlic
And
bread.
it's soggy and a little bit stale, and it's got that fridge temperature about it.
And it's just the thought you had too much to drink last night, right? Like, your stomach's in a weak place. That garlic bread is bringing back bad memories.
Yeah,
That's what this is. It's just not good leftovers. It's leftovers, but not the good kind.
that's the most perfect analogy ever. You're so right. And I was a bit worried that you're gonna start slagging off garlic bread because I fucking love garlic bread.
Never.
But no, you're so right. You're so right. I feel like yeah, Hangman needed to be on this show, I think, just to cut a promo, right? So have him cut the promo. Wouldn't change anything about the opening segment. And then have this match instead be Claudio and Yuta versus Hobbs and Briscoe, or, any combination of someone from the Ops. A 2 versus 2 match. Mox not on the show. And you can have commentary like, questioning like, well, where is he? What's he doing? Is he ever going to come back? He's licking his wounds. He doesn't know what to do with himself after that devastating loss. And then you have Yuta and Claudio like maybe falling apart, disagreeing in the match, and then you're like, what's their direction now? They don't have a leader. Is the Death Riders falling apart? What's next for these two? I feel like that would have worked a bit better.
Yeah, and it would have been like more emphatic as well if like the faces were, for instance, Darby Allin, because he was there at the
Yeah.
end, but he could have been him and I don't know, someone like Samoa Joe or Swerve, and it's like the faces cut a promo and they're like, we're gonna stamp out the last little bit of the Death Riders, and then yeah, you have all the Death Rider storyline, and either you take it of the Death Riders are dissolving, or actually Claudio and Yuta are going to become their own entity, and it solidifies that. And yeah, I think Mox being away, one, it gives him rest. Two, it builds excitement, intrigue, and I really think he needs to go away. I don't think he should be on AEW programming anymore, and that's not from the perspective of I hate Mox or anything. I really like him, but I think the worst thing he could do right now is like kind of be a Jericho
Overexposed.
and stick around. Overexposed, yeah, he's been
Yeah.
so exposed past year on being the world champion. Let him go away, let the intrigue build. But if you keep doing this for too long, you're going to get to a point where you're going to do some permanent damage.
Yeah,
I really do fear that.
I completely agree. Completely agree with you. Yeah, me too. That's exactly what I think.
So the actual match, we had Marina get involved. She was gouging the eyes of Brisco while Yuta
Yeah,
distracted
she's
the
like,
ref. They did that a few times.
yeah, she was heavily involved in this. Like time and time again, she was getting involved. Like more so than I feel like you'd usually get in a Death Riders match. Usually she just get in towards the end, and that would cause the finish. But she was just getting involved throughout. Um, yeah, I was gonna add something, but I forgot. So never mind. We'll move on.
Briscoe worked over for a while. Briscoe biting the open wound of Mox on his forehead from where the fork was stabbed. And we get the Hangman hot tag. We had Mox biting Hangman. So the kind of buckshot got delayed. At this point, it was just really frustrating as well because it's like we've seen him defeat Mox. Why are we having to watch Marina Shafir interfere? Why are we watching Mox like beat up on that Hangman? Like it wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun. It felt unfair. It felt like I've beat the video game. Why am I having to face the boss again? Like that's what it
Yeah.
feels like. Like
Yeah.
roll credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, the buckshot doesn't land. And then the ending sequence is weird as well because you think Hangman again he just blitzes through him, but he doesn't. He's with Claudio. I believe it was Claudio.
Yeah, it was.
And it was pretty back and forth, and he got the win with a jackknife, which it felt like, oh, he just got the victory, which I don't think is how you want to present the new AEW champion. Like, oh, he's just getting by the skin of his teeth. And that pissed me off. And then what really pissed me off, what really got to me, was the Death Riders post-match beatdown. And then Darby Allin looking down like the fucking crow. I thought he was going to come, bloody ascend down on
Yeah.
his harness, zip line. And Hangman finally gets his buckshot in, so there's no character work done on the Death Riders. I don't think Darby Allin's appearance was that amazing that it saved the match. And yeah, I found that bit post-match beatdown absolutely egregious. I think it is terrible. I think it is terrible booking, and it's the thing is, yes, All In is so good that it will override this, and this will just be a footnote. And I don't want to hyperfix it on the bad. I do want to ride the wave of good, but this is like just pissing on that, and why?
But it felt like a bit of a step backwards after everything that we did with Hangman, and then suddenly we're back to the Death Riders beating people up again. And apparently, Darby Allin appearing, like it scared the shit out of Moxley for some reason. Like he was absolutely paralyzed by Darby being 100 feet away from him. Not like he could damage him at all the way over there. But I don't know like what the end game is. I guess it's Moxley versus Darby perhaps, but why couldn't Darby get physical in this match? Why wasn't it? Couldn't Moxley have called him out in a promo? If we must have Moxley on the show, could he call Darby out and have Darby make his big return? I mean, I understand he probably wanted it to be dramatic, and that's why he wanted to be in the rafters, because he can't do anything normal, can he? Darby Allin, he's got to be extra at all times. But yeah, I just think that this was it just felt like a bit of a downer. I know it ended on an upper, but like it just, like I said, just felt like we took a step back from, you thought you put a full stop on these types of matches happening, and then we just were straight back to it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Oh, he never had it out with Darby, and Darby was like the first person that program kind of ran with, and then he went to Everest, and that kind of fucked things over. But it's like, I just don't think for me there is any interest in Darby and Mox. Even if Darby beats Mox, I don't care. Like, I genuinely just do not care. It means nothing. Like, he's already been defeated. I don't want to see it. I guess the only way that you could heat the garlic bread up, if it were in the microwave, was Eddie Kingston, maybe. Yeah, maybe seeing Eddie Kingston beat on Mox, that could heat it up for me a bit. But yeah, I just think Hangman's involvement and all that, it's just, this better put a full stop on at least the Hangman stuff. Okay, if you want to go do the Death Rider shit elsewhere, pack up the toys and play somewhere else, because this part of the playground, it's the Hangman, it's a Hangman, it's cowboy shit, it's fun, it's a good time. No. They better not do that again.
Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. I can't imagine how they can try and drag this out, because it's just not going to work. And there's too many other things to move on to.
Exactly.
So many other stories you can go with Hangman. You don't want to be leaving them hanging excuse the pun, for too long. Like, you need to go address these things. We're not hanging around with Moxley. And I said hang again.
Exactly.
Take a shot every time we say the word hang on this podcast.
But even so, that's just minimizing the damage, innit? It's just delegating it somewhere else. And it's still, like I say, going to be really difficult to watch. The Death Riders program, right? It could still be fun if it's like we say, it's either them tearing away or dissolution. But I think if that kind of program needs to be short, it needs to be sweet, it needs to be impactful. Dragging it out more and more, it's just not good. So yeah, some serious work needs to go into it. It can't just be a to B storyline of Darby beats the Death Riders and we all go home happy. It really needs some spice to it. Maybe Danielson comes back for a little bit and he has some involvement. Eddie Kingston, it really needs some serious, the highest setting on that fucking microwave. 1,000 watts, 10,000 watts, 1,000 watts isn't a lot, but no, it is. 1,000 is a lot. It needs 10. Okay, it needs 10,000 watts. Blow that shit up.
Blow that shit up. Well,
we'll finish on that note.
Yeah, on that note, I know that it ended quite negatively, but what are you thinking for a rating? Has that dragged it down a lot for you?
A 7.
A 7, yeah, I agree, and it's not dragged it down too much. Yeah, I agree with that, because there was a lot of really nice wrestling on this. The women's stuff was outstanding, with not just the match, but Toni and Athena. And yeah, the books were hilarious. Pretty much in general, the stuff other than the main event was pretty solid. So I think a 7 is fine.
Yeah, 7's fine. It's not too bad, but it's not too great. We'll see whether they remedy their mistakes next week.
Yeah, I mean, it had all the potential, with the momentum coming out of All In to just carry that forward and be another 10 or a 9.5, like if you really hit the ground running. But, that, like we've said at the start, just tends to be a pattern where that doesn't really happen. Or if the go home show is really good, this show tends to suffer for some reason. But yeah, we'll settle on a 7.
And I think if you're a new fan as well, or a returning fan, like for us, we're just like we're choosing to see the funny side of it and not get too heated about it. I absolutely just ranted for 5-10 minutes. But we're used to it. This ain't our first rodeo. This ain't Like that meme of that guy who's got the noose around his neck, another Hangman pun, and he's like, oh, first time. That's us. We're used to the post pay-per-view. We're not WWE conditioned anymore of like, oh my god, it's post WrestleMania, woo, beach balls, they're booing for the people they normally cheer. Like, we're not about that life. We know how it goes, right? But like, I think it would be quite disillusioning if you are like a returning AEW fan or a new AEW fan, and you think, oh, like Hangman, he defeated the Death Riders, and you turn it on and you see this. It's like, it's not a good impression for new fans, I don't think.
Yeah, not the best, but hopefully those new fans will stick around for next week, and hopefully next week we'll pick up. So if you're listening for the first time, do subscribe or follow us to make sure you don't miss our review from next week. And also we're so close to 900 subs on YouTube, so please do head over to our channel and subscribe if you can. It would mean the world if we could hit 900 subs. And thank you as ever for all the support and for listening. We really do appreciate it, and don't forget to leave a like and a 5-star rating.
I must bid you adieu, goodbye, you rock, and good night, bang!
I wish you died in the womb!